Hey everybody, it's Alan. What's going on? Today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to talk about making your own gear, specifically 3D printing your own gear, which is something I kind of got into in the past couple of years, and I've actually found it really enjoyable and relaxing, at the same time frustrating sometimes, but it's been an interesting journey and it's been a lot of fun and I've really enjoyed it. So I want to talk to you about some of the pros and cons of printing your own gear and what's involved and why it may or may not be for you. Let's talk about that. Okay, so I originally started out with a resin 3D printer that I purchased off my buddy Jason, and that was the whole intent of that, was to print accessories and busts and things like that. If you guys know my other side, my non-outdoor side, I'm a huge G.I. Joe nerd and I collect a lot of the action figures and vehicles and things, and what I wanted to do with the resin printers, I wanted to print accessories and weapons and all kinds of stuff like that, which was a lot of fun. But resin printing has its downsides, especially when you're working with these toxic resins. They smell terrible, and you have to use alcohol to clean them and scrub them. Then you have to use UV light to cure them. There's a lot of steps involved and there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and plus it's just not the healthiest thing in the world for you. The other thing with resin prints is they are mainly for display purposes. They are meant to sit on a shelf, not be touched, maybe painted, clear coated, things like that, which I have done, but not necessarily for anything functional, I would say. So what I really wanted to do was make functional parts, and that was when I decided to pick up this pre-owned item right here. This is my Creality Ender 3 Neo. It's a little bit of an older model, kind of a, I guess you'd say, entry-level model, but it has printed quite a few pieces of gear for me, and it's been a really interesting and at times very frustrating journey, learning about the proper settings, the proper materials. You know, I learned very quickly that PLA, which is, you know, kind of the basic plastic that you can use for these printers, is not the best for functional parts. It's kind of brittle, doesn't like sunlight, UV, things like that. So then I migrated away from that and got into PETG, which is a much stronger material. It resists sunlight and things like that. It's much better for outdoor type applications. And then this will also run ABS plastic, which is great for those kinds of things. So this printer has really put out some really cool things and some functional things. I printed this spool winder because I was always getting my bare line tangled when I was trying to wrap. Even though I try to wrap it properly, I just really wanted a spool winder. So got this off of Thingiverse for free, printed it out, boom. Another really cool thing is this stake pusher that I printed in this nice orange. I love this orange. I use it for pretty much all my outdoor applications. Orange PETG material, and this is specifically for pushing groundhog stakes. It has the 3 sides to it. Really indispensable piece of gear. I use it every trip I go out now and use those stakes, and it really saves my hands and feet. I've seen people have issues with literally stakes going through their hands or their shoes, their soles of their shoes into their foot. Not fun, not a fun thing at all. So this is a really cool thing. You only need to print one, you use it for every stake. It's awesome. And there are so many different applications. There are so many things out there that you can print. You know, you can just go out to sites like Thingiverse and download these free designs. You can go out to a site called Yegi, which is a 3D downloadable search engine, and find just countless designs. There are so many cool things out there. It's really amazing. I'll tell you, it's very cool. And if you're really inclined to do some cool stuff and really dig into software, you can actually customize these items to your liking. You can put anything on them by using sites like Tinkercad, or you can actually get software like Autodesk Fusion, which I've tinkered with, but I'll tell you, it's very hard software to use, and I consider myself pretty proficient in software. Still learning that, trying to take courses and things like that, but I have used it to create some pretty cool things, like these bar ends for my Moloko handlebars. These Moloko bars have these really weird size on the bar ends, and I could not find any online that were already made. So I measured them, measured the horn size, and printed my own. And I went a step beyond that, and these were actually blank on the ends, and I found the Surly S, took it into Fusion and recessed and put the Surly S on there, customized them the way I liked. Super, super awesome. Really, really cool. And I'll tell you, I love the way these turned out. It hasn't all been fun. I've definitely had my share of failures. A lot of prints failed, especially when I tried certain things and they just did not work out well at all. I also had some issues with some things that I printed in the past. I printed a cargo cage. Actually, I printed 2 cargo cages for the forks of my Surly bike, and one of them ended up snapping and breaking while I was out in the trail. Wasn't a huge deal, wasn't the end of the world, but it kind of sucked. So I would advise you, if you're printing stuff that's really, really critical to your experience, think about that, because 3D prints, you know, they're susceptible to breaking. No matter how strong you think they might be, that is a possibility that could happen. But like I said, there's a whole universe of things out there that you can download, especially for free. Some are paid, but you know, you go out and download these files, take them on your computer, take them into, I specifically use Ultimaker Cura to slice all my designs and size them and everything. And it's great software. It's pretty intuitive. It works really well. It has a ton of plug-in options. It's pretty cool software. I like it a lot. Then I just slice those designs. Basically that just means slicing it in a way that the computer can read the file into something called G-code, and the printer interprets that G-code into coordinates, and it knows how to print. It's pretty fascinating. It's pretty interesting to me. I love the concept of it all. I've also printed some really cool functional items just for around my house. I printed this garage door handle puller thingy. Love the way it turned out. It's also a safety device, so people can't pull your string through the top of your garage door. It's kind of a safety device. I've done these hooks for my mountain biking helmets, my bike helmets. I've done this tool tray for my bike stand. Turned out great. Just all kinds of things. I mean, there are so many functional things that you can do with 3D printed items. It's kind of mind-boggling, and it's amazing. More and more companies are out there selling 3D printed items on sites like Garage Your Own Gear and things like that. And, you know, you can spend $10, $12, $20 for an item, or you can, you know, buy the filament, buy the printer and do it yourself. I don't know at what point it becomes more cost effective just to do one-offs and buy them, or to actually invest in these kind of items and keep printing them yourselves. But there are lots of opportunities, and especially when you're trying to size something to a specific size and you need it to be a certain custom size, you might really want your own printer, because you're going to have to do a lot of test prints and make sure that they work properly. So that is something to think about. Now, do I think 3D printing is for everyone? No, not necessarily. But if you're technically inclined and you like tinkering and you don't mind being a little frustrated once in a while, you might enjoy 3D printing. You might want to give it a shot. All you really need is to purchase one of these printers that you can get for a couple $100, and then of course your filaments and things like that, your materials. You'll need a fairly decent computer, PC, to you know, download the designs and slice them, but you don't need a high-end, super high-end machine to do that. My machine is just a little Linux box running pretty old hardware, and it's doing fine using those 3D renderings. So you don't need the highest end of the highest end for sure. But I would say it really is something definitely fun to play with. And if you want to learn, you want to teach yourself some things and try some new things out and just be creative, if you have that engineering mindset, which I didn't think I did, but I guess I have a little bit, then 3D printing is a lot of fun. It's really educational. It's, you know, it's something you can do with your kids, and you can just have a lot of fun with it. And you know, it can be frustrating at times, but all in all, it's pretty fun to play around with, and just, again, to just make your own stuff and say, hey, I printed that, I created that. It's pretty exciting to be able to do that. So I would say if you're inclined to try it, give it a try. You don't have to invest a lot of money in it, and if it doesn't work out, you can always turn around and sell your printer, and you'll probably get a very good price out of it anyway, because people like to purchase these things used. So I hope this video inspires you a little bit to try something new and maybe try printing your own gear, giving it a shot, and just see what the whole world of 3D printing is all about. I think it's a lot of fun. You may too. All right, everybody, as always, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and check back for lots of upcoming outdoor adventures. I've got some really cool trips planned using some of this gear, actually. Can't wait to show you out in the trail. Talk to you later.